Hi guys, I'm Stephen. Stephen Simone Thomas. Follow us on distracttv.com. We are joined by singer-songwriter TÖME. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. You're based in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Okay, whereabouts in Toronto are you? Because I've got family out there and I know a few parts. I lived there for a while. Are you like near North York, Don Mills, Spadina, Queens?
Okay, so since you know Toronto, then I am actually like Mississauga area, so Port Credit. Like I'm literally right off of Etobicoke. Yeah, I'm right off of Etobicoke. But it's easier for like majority of people for me to just say Toronto, because if I say Mississauga, a lot of people are like, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I know people in Mississauga and Scarborough. Is it Scarborough?
Okay, yeah, completely different ends, but yeah, Scarborough's around too.
Nice. Okay, so to start things off, how have you been? What have you had for breakfast? What's been going on so far? I know it's early, right?
No, I've been good. I just started my day with like a little workout, had a nice little peanut butter banana smoothie. That's literally my go-to now in the morning. Really
pretty healthy.
Full of protein. Yeah, it's just really good. I don't know, I just love it. And then but overall I'm good, you know, just sticking with routine, working on music, working on a whole lot of content. So working.
Yeah, you're on it. I love your sound to start off with. I'm gonna ask you loads of stuff, but I mean, generally, like, what's your inspiration? What's your go-to? Like, how did you start out? Like, what was that?
I started making music when I was 8 years old. I think like just seeing people, or I guess artists on television and movies that were just portraying a superstar and an artist always kind of captivated me. I was like, I would love to do that. I would love to be a superstar. That was always my thing. And so I started writing when I was 8 years old. At first it started as poetry, but then I could think of like beats in my head and I started just writing out songs. And then by the time I was 10, I got my guitar, like professional guitar that I still have till this day. And that was when I really started composing music. And which then kind of took me on my venture that I'm on now. And it started from really young, but it's always been what I wanted to do.
Yeah, super cool. You're like obviously Canadian, Nigerian as well, French. What kind of, I guess, with that mix, what have you taken from that? Like, what's the sound that you go with? There's so many influences there.
There is a lot of influence, and growing up within like a very multicultural community as well, within the French community on top of that, it was very much, I grew up around culture, and I think that that's what I try to cultivate in my music, is really a fusion of sound and culture, because that's what I grew up around and that's what I know best. And that's why I say Afrofusion is what I would consider my sound, just because I try to incorporate Afrobeat everywhere that I can. It can be within the beat, it can be within my own melodies or whatever I say. However, it's always fused with that R&B or soul or jazz as well, which is what I really like grew up listening to. Sorry, not jazz, but like house and so on and so forth. So that's really like what I grew up listening to, and I definitely would say it influences my music a lot and sound.
You've also, like, I guess what I love about what you've done so far is you've got quite a political voice, and you're very much about like what's happening, and you try and support what you can. I've seen a lot of your coverage as well about SARs as well, and protesting as well in Toronto. Can you tell us a bit about that? Like, tell me a bit about what you've been doing and like, why it means so much to you.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of aware of the whole SARS movement and what it really means. You know, it's just like, I felt like I'm Nigerian, you know, so of course I think it hits me different than maybe someone who isn't Nigerian as well. But I just felt like it was I had to do something. I had to say something. I felt like it was very natural for me to go and support, because, you know, my people are suffering and I'm all the way here. And I'm able to protest without getting killed or without being attacked in any single way. And it's like, I need to be able to share my voice how I can. I can't stay quiet about it. And that's why I felt so moved to say something and be so forward in the front line, I guess you could say, in Toronto. And I'm glad I did it, because there was a whole lot of people around me who are Black, but who had no idea what was going on, or just people generally had no idea what was going on until I started speaking about it. And I think I raised a lot of awareness within the city, along with a lot of other colleagues of mine who are also very diverse within their reach in Africa and Toronto. And I think it was really important because I was able to help raise awareness to a different audience, and it's important, especially at these times.
Yeah, for sure. Do you find it quite hard, I guess, like as an artist, having that judgment though? Because I guess you have a platform now and you can say anything, it just gets magnetized. Like I've had that issue and I'm like minor on the, Instagram side of things in terms of like having a profile and a presence. So do you find that difficult, or do you just say what you've got to say and then you're just like, you know what, deal with it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's not my business. How do you?
I honestly would love to just half the time be like, yeah, no, I don't care. That's it. Put it out.
You do care.
I love that, but realistically, when you have a brand, you're not the only one part of this brand, so it does definitely become a lot harder to sort of go about it any way I want to. However, that's why I did feel like at one point when I was posting a lot about the SARS situation, I felt like I couldn't post anything else because it was almost like contradicting what I'm doing, or I wouldn't be, I would no longer be showing my support for the movement if I started posting more about me as an artist and my brand and everything else I'm still pushing, right? But I think it was just a moment of like, I still know what I'm doing. I still know I'm talking about it. I'm still on the front lines. I'm still there for the protest. I know I'm still doing what I need to do to help, regardless of that. And it was kind of like from the push of my team to be like, no, girl, like, we got music. You're an artist first. Like, go back to that, And I definitely needed that kind of reassurance before I could post. So there was a little bit of pressure at one point, but overall, I do post what I want.
Tell me a bit about Medic, because I know that you've started your own foundation as well as such. Like, tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, no, so I had actually partnered up early in COVID period. I had actually partnered up with an organization back in Nigeria, Medic, and we just created the Food Drive Challenge, where I basically asked, through my platform, I asked my audience and everyone I know around me to just donate any small amount of anything, really, to a cause, and then we would be using that total amount of money and picking out like a whole food drive of food and bringing it out to communities in Lagos. So we were actually able to feed 6 communities, about 400 people in Ibeju-Lekki, in Nigeria.
That's so good. That's amazing. That's like,
thank you. Yeah,
well done. Love it. That's super cool. Super cool. And how have you been dealing with the pandemic yourself? Like, it's been quite tough for me. Like I guess Sharon as well as creative. How are you dealing with the situation? How are you coping?
My gosh, it's definitely had its ups and downs, right? I mean, musically, in terms of what we've been able to release and do as a team and like just push forward, I think that's been a blessing through this period. I think I'm really glad that we're still able to get quite a lot done. However, creatively, just in terms of like my own creative inspirations and so on and so forth, I definitely did hit like a low. I felt like I wasn't sure. I didn't know. There was a point where I just felt so stagnant. We've been months on end doing the same thing over and over again every single day. It started to feel very, very dull, and I just started feeling like that generally. And so there was definitely that moment of like, self-reflection and just feeling down and not being motivated. And then afterwards it picked back up because we were still pushing music at the same time. So I'd always have like good days, bad days. But yeah, I think that isolation it makes you think.
Totally. And bigger than four walls, tell me about that. Because like, I don't think I need to say too much. I just want to hear it from you. Talk to me a bit about that. It's exciting. I'm excited.
That Bigger Than Four Walls was truly a project to show versatility and show range. And I felt like that's always been my thing. I've always, like anytime I'm in a studio, I won't make 2 songs the same. Like I legit just don't make 2 songs set like in a similar pocket. It's always you always understand my vibe as an artist. Within all my songs, you hear a similar vibe, but then that genre, I guess, or the sound is different from one another. But I felt like it still works for me. It still resonates as one artist projecting this music. And that was really what I wanted people to feel from this project. It's something bigger than myself. It's something bigger than the industry in terms of it's not common. It's not commonly seen. You don't see it a lot in projects. And that was the main reason why it's bigger than Four Walls. It's bigger than what we're used to. And I wanted to just show people that going into 2020, independent artists, you don't have to be so boxed into one genre. If you know and truly understand yourself and understand how you make music and how it resonates with others, then go for it. And that was really my point with that project. And it resonated quite well. So I'm really happy I did it because it's
quite well. I mean, like 2 million streams in 2 weeks. Just saying, like that is. I mean, that is, yeah. I mean, speechless. I'm speechless for you.
You also have a new track called I Pray with Sean Kingston.
Yes.
What was your creative process behind that, and what were the events that led up to the song?
Yeah, you know, it's so funny because I actually made that song on Instagram Live with the producer. Little did I know it would be our next release when we first made it, but it was on Instagram Live, and I wrote the whole song right there. And we never saved the data. Oh, the content, the lost content. It makes me so sad, but it's okay. Regardless, we had a great. When he showed me the beat, it was like so roots. It was so reggae. I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah. It automatically made me feel like I can't just say anything. And then it was right when the pandemic was really like, you know, really established. We're in stage 1, stay home. You know what I mean? And it was kind of like, whoa, all right. I'm literally working with a producer over Instagram Live. Never done this before. You know what I mean? It was just that moment of what 2020 is right now. And for a lot of people, it was down, and that social, racial injustice was really starting to brew up as well. A little bit before the George Floyd situation, there was already talks about it, and then George Floyd happened, and then Black Lives Matter happened. But just around that time, there was still all those things going on, and that was going on through my mind. And that was really what inspired the lyrics, and what I spoke of was just how crazy 2020 has been so far, and just the fact that it's hard to keep faith, but you have to try, you know. And for me, I have to let God lead me. For Sean Kingston, yes, shout out to my team, shout out Jones for that, because he knew people part of Sean Kingston's team. And when he first heard the song, he was like, oh no, you need a remix for this. We definitely wanted to keep the original as it was, but we wanted a remix. And he had reached out to their team, they listened to it, and Sean really liked it. So he hopped on it, and he did it very much justice. And so it makes me, to this day, I've never spoken to Sean. I sent him a message. He'll see it one day. But, you know, I still am so grateful, and I respect him so much.
You also, like, you shared the stage of, like, Burna Boy as well, and Wizkid. Like, what was that experience like?
Incredible. I mean, my first professional year last year, coming out and then having the ability to tour with Wizkid and Burna and Easy. It's like, oh my gosh, like this is really happening. Like it's absolutely incredible. It helped me improve so much in my confidence as well, on top of stage performance and how I engage with a crowd, how I engage with my fans. All performance really helped me with that.
What's happening on the romantic front for you?
Oh,
we're just gonna throw in this a curveball situation because we want to find out. People want to know. I want to know. I'll be honest.
Honestly, I'm single. I am single. I have no blue.
What is your advice for people out there who want to get into music? And obviously you're there and you've done a lot already and you're kind of up there. What would you say? Because obviously it's such a, I guess, it's such a battlefield out there, and I think any advice that you could give to someone like that is going to go far. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I say this with sort of a reminder to myself because it's still something that I need to practice more, but really understanding the business of it now is so important. Especially if you're coming out as an independent, you're still trying to find label services or so on and so forth, whatever it may be, you really just need to understand the business side of music. It's just so important for your success at this point. You know, the talent is one thing. You can be so talented and so passionate about it, but you need to understand the business to propel. And it's just so key as an independent artist. And it's still something I'm learning. It's still something I need to do more of. But it's my strongest advice to anybody is just understanding the business of it. Because music is truly 20%. That 80% business. And you need to know. Yeah.
Sure. Nice. And what's lined up next for you? What's happening in 2021? Is that too far ahead? I know we've got 2 months left of 2020, so not much time. But what's the story?
I am working on a project right now, so that will be for 2021, early 2021. I don't want to say anything, no dates, nothing, but definitely expect something that is to relieve us from the time that we've lived in 2020. So it's definitely impactful. It's an impactful project that I definitely want to put out. So I'll say that much is for sure. And on top of that, I have open book, a lot of different series that I'm also working on. And people should really just look forward to a lot from me. And I want to just show people every aspect of me. So you got to follow the journey because we always doing something.